Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another messy Facebook Live. I hope this has been additive to your world. It's been fun for me to do, of course, a little nerve wracking, but thanks for all the positive feedback. We are doing a 1 month walkthrough of the 35 principles that my personal behavioral health practice, our group practice, is built on. These are principles that took us from just one person to over 200 staff. So they're core to who we are. I think it's part of what has made us different. I think it's helped us transcend some really tough moments in our practice, growing and evolving. They're touch points that we come back to when we have tough decisions to make or feel like we have dilemmas internally. We're not sure how to go. So sharing with you, I hope they are helpful. I hope they spur some conversation with you, your team, in your own head. Even if you're a solo practice, you have a set of values. Maybe you've never sat down and written them out, but they're there. And I would encourage you, as part of listening to these, participating, steal freely, right? These are yours to take and use and modify, but also make sure and write down the things that are yours, that are original, and are the things that come out of your mouth on a regular basis. One of my jokes right now is if you really want to know what your values are, ask your staff, your team, your family to do their best impressions of you at work. The things that you hear sometimes are kind of shocking and fun, but that is your brand. That's what they hear a bunch. That's why they're using it as the basis for their impressions. So principle 6 of our journey here. I'm going to read it to you a couple times, and and then I'll unpack it a little bit, and you can do what you find valuable with it. So principle number 6 is pinpoint your fears. We're all afraid, but most of us are just afraid to admit it. Fears sharpen themselves against denial and silence. Lean hard into your fears, vocalize them to our community, and give us a fair chance to take care of you. Again, pinpoint your fears. We're all afraid. Most are just afraid to admit it. Fears sharpen themselves against denial and silence. Lean hard into your fears, vocalize them to our community, and give us a fair chance to take care of you. So this is a huge one, I think, for my practice, my own journey, me as a person, right? And this speaks to the heart of things like imposter syndrome and people not speaking up until it's too late in a relationship, until they're too burnt out to continue. There's a lot around this. So here's the thought, right? We are fear-driven creatures. It is a core emotion, maybe the core emotion that keeps us alive, keeps us safe, and it is a pessimistic voice, right? It guesses to the negative when it runs into ambiguity. Not sure if you're smiling at me in that text or not. It just says okay, right? I don't know if I'm on the right side of you or wrong. Let's go ahead and guess that we're on the wrong side of you, right? That's the safer approach. Assume the worst, don't get voted out of the tribe. Assume the dark alley, even though there's nothing there that presents a visible threat. It's ambiguous, so let's go ahead and assume, right? So I think in our field, but in general, within mental health, one of the biggest drivers of the stigmatization of talking about where we're at and where we're struggling is fear of talking about fear, right? As the famous presidential address goes, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. I think we are afraid as people to talk about fear for good reasons. And yet, if we can overcome those reasons, it provides a massive opportunity that most people aren't leaning into. And if we're looking for a way to build something different, an edge in the marketplace, a way to retain people in our company, to lead our clients, etc., talking about our fear, especially our fear of being afraid, is a crucial game changer. I stumbled into a phrase. I don't know if I stole it or if I got it from somebody else, but it kind of emerged from COVID for me, which is this kind of moment where I had just finally gotten my practice to a healthier place. I don't know if it's ever been healthy, but healthier place. chaos was down a little bit, kind of had our feet under us. And I remember laying in a hotel room thinking, holy shit, I'm going to lose my business to forces beyond my control. COVID, a lockdown, all that kind of stuff. Uh, we talked to our staff about it. We were very forthright, and one of the things we were very forthright about, or I was I'm terrified of what this means for us. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but I do have a plan. That it wasn't intentional. It was me wearing my heart on my sleeve, not knowing what else to do, and feeling like I owed people honesty about where we were at. And one of my star employees came up to me afterwards, or zoomed me, I guess, back in the day, and said that was one of the most inspiring things I've ever heard. Not because you were had all the answers or that you reassured us, but because you were afraid, and that made it okay for us to be afraid. But then you had a plan to lead us out of that fear. So the phrase that emerged for me, that's one of the big operative ones, right, is managers require, but leaders inspire. And the most inspiring leader is the one who's a hot mess with a plan. And what drives hot mess, that state of being for us, it's usually fear, right? It's shame. It's the prediction about how our past is going to impact our future, all that kind of stuff. If we can't pinpoint those things, right? That's what the value is. Pinpoint your fears. If you can't pinpoint those things, then they have free reign to hijack you, to ambush you. If you can't pinpoint them, you deny yourself moments of intimacy where other people can step into that gap and care for you. Something we don't do well as leaders, right? The idea of pinpointing your fears is you need to know what is driving everything from your adamance to your work ethic to your fierce loyalty. These are all things, I think, on some level that are driven by fear. And if we can't pinpoint those fears, then we run around playing whack-a-mole with our own emotions. When we do pinpoint them, we can harness them, we can use them, we can rule over them instead of being ruled by them. So that's the work, right? One of the key roles of a leader is to constantly be pinpointing, not overcoming, but pinpointing the most recent iteration of their fear. What does it mean to run this thing now, to be a leader now? What does it mean in this environment when I've reached this level? Like the fears evolve, and if we don't hold a front row seat to those, then we lose track of ourselves and we become inept leaders who are leading from a blind spot and not knowing it. So pinpoint your fears. In that value, right, is also this phrase that I love, which is give us a fair chance to take care of you. So often our fears lead us to draw conclusions and preemptively figure out in advance what we need to do to rectify a situation without ever giving the other person collaboration opportunities, consent to what we're doing. We just jump into this preemptive management. If you're a therapist, you've lived out this moment 1,000 times with clients, right? Help me figure out how to say this to this person. Well, that's a fear, right? That if we say it wrong, it's going to go poorly. And if it goes poorly, then we get these bad outcomes. So help me strategize. Help me manipulate my delivery so that my fears don't come true. All of that denies this human intimacy moment that I think makes us who we are at our best, and the lack of it drives who we are at our worst, which is why not just tell that person that you're afraid of this going poorly, that I've got to have a conversation with you now, but first let me tell you why I'm terrified to have it, what I don't want to see happen, etc. When we don't do that, we don't give otherwise good humans, flawed but good humans, a fair chance to take care of us. And we deny them their ability to do their half of the relationship. And we deny them their opportunity to help us clear up voices in our head about who we are, what our significance is, what our shame means, all that kind of stuff. When we pinpoint our fears, we can vocalize our fears. When we can vocalize our fears, then other people have a fair chance to take care of us. They won't always, right? But they will much more than if we don't know and share what's driving our fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all that kind of stuff. The goal of being a leader, right? The label itself means you're at the front of the line. You go first, right? Like that's literally what the word means when we go back to kindergarten and line leaders and stuff, right? If you're not willing to go first, then you need to reevaluate whether or not you should be carrying the title of a leader. If you're not willing to put on the clown suit and try uncomfortable things, things that could get messy, things that could embarrass you, then why would anybody who holds less power in your organization than you ever feel like that's a safe behavior, much less a desired behavior? Your job as a leader, right? And part of helping your culture pinpoint its fears and giving you a fair chance to resolve that before they run away and work somewhere else or spread gossip or build alliances. Your job is to be afraid visibly first, right? To be a leader in that sense and give your team, your community a fair chance to take care of you. We all know that the vast majority of our fears don't come true, and yet we live in a constant state of avoiding them. This value for us is a reminder to do something different, to insist on a pattern interrupt, in the belief that when we do that, the things we have to be afraid of actually diminish significantly. So there's the thoughts for the day. I hope that's helpful to some of you. Feel free to push back in the comments or share related thoughts or your wisdom. Credit to anybody that I quoted and didn't realize that I quoted them. I'll credit where credit's due. If this is helpful, be sure to go to Semi-Private Practice on YouTube. Give us a follow. That's very encouraging for us. Helps me know that this is not a waste of time and that I don't need to be afraid of my contributions. Go to semiprivatepractice.com. We've got monthly stuff where we get together and just kind of share the journey. Be sure to check out our new annual POW conference, POWconference.com, Practice Operations and Workflow Conference, where we deep dive into both the emotional side of leadership and the tactical side of executing and running a better, more profitable, more sustainable, more humane practice. So thanks for joining me. Hope it was helpful. We'll see you again tomorrow.